Hey, how you doing out there, everybody? It's your boy from Brooklyn, Sean Ambrosio, just saying, what's going on? What's going on? Let's see if we could get these both working. No, got an error. Close. Let's see. Let's see if the Rumble one is working. I don't think so. I think I just jammed it up again. I think I hit start all, and then I hit start 2 again, and I don't think it worked. So I'm not really sure what's going on. But let's see. Let's see if it's doing anything like it's supposed to be doing. But I don't think so. I don't think it is. I think I'm going to start this over again and see what happens. And maybe I don't think it is. But let's see if we go over here on 2. Over here. I don't know if the stream keys are going to be working. But we'll see. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. What do you think? I can't listen to this anymore. What happened here? But I think the YouTube is working fine too. So who do I got? Let me check on the YouTube and see who's here. This way, let me tell you something. This is getting a little frustrating. But anyway, I think I kind of have it figured out. But I'm going to find out right now if everything is working. Maybe. We'll see. What do you think? Let's change this. Boom. Let's change this over to here. Let's see who's going live. This one's live. Let's see if it's working. Anybody? Beulah. But I don't know. No, that's not the one I want to see. Let's see who's live. There we go. All right, so we got Gags. What's up, Gags? Thomas. What up, Homer? How's it going? How's everybody doing? But that's good. So now, I don't know, Thomas, I think you're subscribed to my Rumble one too. Go over there and just, oh no, see? As soon as I mentioned, look at that. As soon as I mentioned it. Wow. Super duper frustrating. It's just crazy. It's crazy how they treat people. It's crazy how they treat people. It's got a weird dynamic happening, and I don't know why. But I mean, for now, it seems to be okay. But I don't know if it's really okay. I'm just doing the hypothetical on this to see what's going on. How's the sound? The sound sounds pretty good. No, but it's doing it again. It's starting to mess up again already. But I don't know why. It's doing some weird things again. But I'm going to plug through and just keep at it, I think. Because I think it could be either one of them. But I don't know. The sound is good. All right, so then that's a plus, right? Sound is good, and I think the YouTube is fine. I'm not sure if the other one is working out too well, but I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check it now and see if it's coming through. And then we can see if it's working. It seems to be okay. I mean, the picture looks fine. There's really no delay. So I think it's just the idea of the signals through the software is kind of making a funky comedina there. I'm not exactly sure which it is, but I'm going to keep plugging away and we'll see what happens. So either way, whichever one and you want to be on, that's kind of where I'm at. So this is working. The YouTube one is working. So I'm good with that. So far, so good. And I could do a little chat here. Hey, what's... So that seems to be okay. So I'm interacting in the chat as my other channel. And I know that whoever's in here is already subscribed to my other channel. So if you're not, just go over there and subscribe to the cookie. I have the links down below in the description. You go in the description and just click the links down there for the other. And now that I got all these visual effects and everything working, so we can just do that. So you can go over there, see, look, go down there in the bottom, boom, you see it? You'll find all the other social media stuff, and you'll find the links to these two channels up there. So you can go over there and check them out. I got a couple of videos on each one of those. Not many, but a couple. I think enough for you to keep somebody interested in whatever I'm doing on the YouTube over there. And I'll eventually be moving over to the other platform as well. But for now, and I got everything working pretty good now. So I have the all the graphics and everything working. So I'm happy about that. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that this way you're subscribed. That's it. You only have to be subscribed right there. And then after you're done with the subscription part of that right there, you get your bell rung. This way you get notified when I throw a video up on here. All right? So ring the bell so you get notified. Or don't ring the bell if you don't want to be notified. Again, your choice. All right? We're giving choices here. That's it. And if you like it, throw a thumbs up. Okay? Do that right there. You'll make everybody happy. The algorithm and everybody. And then really, if you want to make the algorithm happy, you got to share this with somebody. You got to share it. You got to share it. Then I got to say it again. You got to share it. You got to share it. You just sharing is caring. And Karen's not just somebody I know from Brooklyn. Okay? And any question and comments, by all means, leave them down there. If you want to hear about something, talk about something, know about something, leave a question or a comment and then a question or a facsimile thereof right there. You could do any one of them, whichever one you like. That's totally up to you. I'm not saying what it is you should do. And again, you can find the links and all that stuff. You can listen to me on the audio podcast. Look, right there. You could listen to me instead of looking at me right there. And it's on those platforms right there. You'll find them in the description below too. So try that out for a little bit. See how you like how I sound for a little while. Okay? And then what do we got here? Throw the super chat in there right there. And I already told you about the other channels. Boom, right there. You can go check them out. That would be very helpful right there. It's brought to you by the ENN Studios. Everything and Nothing Studios right here with your boy. Check it out. All right? And this is the Everything and Nothing podcast. And that's the truth right there. Oh, look. I told you I got some really cool stuff now, right? So, in a lickety split, I'm back. That's the truth right there. So that's working out pretty well. And I'm digging all that stuff right there. And it's pretty cool. Let's take off some of these right here. Let's take that out. But that's what's going on. This is like the final countdown. I'm going to work on some other things now too, and let's see who's in the chat. What do we got to say today? Anybody? I watched it the other night. Beulah. Anyone? Anyone? Such a great classic movie. It's wonderful. And so I'm going to go down here too, because I got to start working on a few of these things to see if they're working as well. So I had put this up a while ago, and oh, it's going real slow now. That's too slow. You see it over there? I don't know what happened. I don't know why it's going that slow. I'm not exactly sure. But that's the news headline down there at the bottom. So it has a ticker on there at the bottom where it shows headlines in different places. It's going very slow, but I'll have to fix that. I'll have to adjust the speed a little bit, and that's pretty cool. That's another added feature I did. Right there. I've been adding a lot of things, trying to get a lot of things working properly, and they are. They seem to be working out pretty well. So I'm happy about that. I'm really happy about that. That works well. So far that's working good. So that's the ticker. It's called a ticker. Ticker, like your heartbeat ticker. Or like a ticker from the stock market ticker. But it's a news ticker, so it gives you live headlines from different areas when they're happening, at the time they're happening. So it's a it's a minute by minute. I mean, I would have to find out for sure if that was the actual, but that's what the ticker updates every so often while the live stream is happening. I think it's every 20 minutes. I think that's what it is, every 20 minutes or something like that. It updates if there's a new headline from somewhere else. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And let's see what else I got over here. Oh, yeah. Oh, we can talk about that too. And what else do I have here? So I've been wanting to work on this, and this seems to be working out pretty cool here. So let me just find okay, here's the actual. And if I move this over.
And what we witnessed there with the war in Iraq.
I'm astonished that someone could be on the news and even say that or think that for a second. Did you not watch it when you were broadcasting about it? The war in Iraq was undergirded by a lie. It devastated an entire nation. Millions of children, potentially, starved and were killed. It is completely comparable. The only reason you don't compare it is because it delegitimizes the entire argument. Sorry, I've got a few things I want to point out. Oh shit, that's why the censorship, that's why the mainstream media are running scared. That's why whoever you are, Cornel West, Tucker Carlson,
You believe this? So, I mean, I know this is going to be when I finally get the podcast, this is all working properly and so far so good. I'm going to be doing a lot more of things like this. So the idea is what Russell Brand is talking about, and what my next podcast is going to be about, is how Cornel West, who is a liberal and has been in favor of, all that mainstream news media people, all of a sudden he starts talking some sense and trying to explain to this mainstream news media people about why things are so corrupt the way they are. And even though they had him on and adore him because he, was a liberal just like they were, all of a sudden, because some of his views have changed, now these people don't like him anymore. And how bad they're treating him. Oh my goodness, what a bunch of turncoats. That's crazy. But anyway, we're going to get into that in the first podcast I do, which will be next week, which is my birthday week. Wasn't that funny? It'll be my birthday, the next podcast. So I'm excited about that too. Well, I'm just getting old. That's really, that's the long and short of it, right? I'm just getting old. And I'm going to go kicking and screaming in case everybody doesn't know. I'm not going to go quiet into the night. I could tell you that much right now. That'll be for shit sure. You can't keep me down. That's the truth. I mean, not saying that you should, but it's that's exactly how I feel about that. And I hope everything is still going good. Thomas, did you go over and check over on the Rumble one over there? Was it all copacetic? Everything working over on the other side? Did you check it out? I think it is. And Gags, if you're not on the Rumble, go over there too and sign up. And Homer too, or if you're still on. But Thomas, just let me know if it's working. If the the other one is on. Your dinner was good. Still tasting it. That's what's up right there. But anyway, I'm really digging this. So what do you think about the lighting? I like the lighting. I think it works well. I think it's good. I'm going to adjust the stream thing. It's flashing a little bit, but I'm going to adjust it, and hopefully it won't be flickering these colors like that. So I'll figure that out before the next one. But I think it seems to be working out okay. I don't know, maybe Thomas ducked out on us already. I'm not sure. So hot sauce turned out awesome today. Oh, he's growing the hot peppers and making his own hot sauce. I'm sure. Listen, it comes fresh from the garden. It's going to be delicious. Thank you for the sunshine. Thank you for the rain. Thank you for the joy, and thank you for the pain. That's the truth right there. All right, so everything is still copacetic on both ends, so I'm excited about that. And the reason being is so I don't have to, right? Because otherwise I'd have to do 2 separate broadcasts for the 2 different platforms, and this just makes it easier. You understand? How about the lighting? I really like the lighting. I think it's dialed in. I may bring in a little bit more on this side, just a little bit, maybe above over here, maybe a little bit on that side, maybe brighten up the back just a little bit, with a little bit of up lighting, and I'm not sure yet. But so far, I think this light setup is pretty good. And you'll just have to let me know out there. I like the lighting so far. And that's it. So how's everybody been? It's been a crazy week. There's been a lot of things going on, and I think somebody needs to talk about it. I'm sure everybody else is. And the only thing I have to say is that who really thinks that a wildfire started in an island in Hawaii? I don't think anybody does. I think there's something fishy going on here, and I'm not just saying fishy because they're surrounded by water. I don't think a fish started the fire. That's only me thinking out loud. But what do I know? Like I said, I'm only a guy from Brooklyn, just paying attention to things. So that idea just has me baffled for 2 reasons. One, how come they shut the island off? How come we didn't go over and try and help put out the fires? That's very strange. And then there's another part of me that's thinking, well, they're surrounded by water. Why don't they have water pumps coming from the ocean? And then the third one is, here's me going crazy again. The third one is, do you know it's a tropical island? So there's a mist. It's surrounded by water. It's not a very big island. So the idea is that it's very difficult for things to catch on fire there and then not be able to be put out quickly. Let's try this again. They're surrounded by water. All sides. So there's something very strange going on around here. And it's trifling. It's trifling to the point where how could they not even have let other islanders from the other Hawaiian islands come over and help? This is strange. And here's the fourth one I'm going to say about it is that why are we not marching in the streets yet? Why is everybody still just dealing with this the way it is? Why isn't everybody on all these Hawaiian islands now just shut it down? Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. This can't keep happening. They're setting things on fire. They are. Fires all over the place. They're not going to rebuild. They're going to push everybody into different places. They don't want to spread out anymore. Listen to me. They don't want to spread it. They want to keep pushing everybody closer and closer together so that they know where everybody is at all times. All your energy, everything is going to come from them eventually. They want to have total control. Total control is the idea. Control is the idea. So, please, start thinking, at least for yourself. If you don't want to think for anybody else, at least think for yourself for a little while. Stop for an hour a day and say to yourself, what's really going on here? So every morning you got to get up and get to that job and nobody stops you. It's kind of like a weird thing. Get up, go home, eat something, go to bed, tomorrow do it again. Rinse, repeat. So don't think about anything else. Don't think about them setting trains on fire in all these different states and then, polluting the air and killing people. And if anybody has seen the sightings of the animals in that area where that happened, where that train derailment happened and all those toxic fumes got in the air, all the animals are all messed up. They're all messed up. So you have to be thinking about things for a little bit. You have to stop for a little while every day and say to yourself, what's going on? Where is the state of affairs? Not just as a whole, as the country, but just in your area and your community and what things are, and how things are happening, right? What's going on? What are they doing that directly affects you? Directly. Because here's the screaming part that everybody says, well, it's a big scale. It doesn't really affect me. I go, well, look, don't think on such a large scale at this point. Think smaller. Think on a smaller scale as to the point where what's going on in your community? How are things changing? You have to be thinking about these things constantly. I think about them, right? Because I have, town here. It's a very small town, 2 square miles. And the idea is they're responsible for sanitation, right? Taxes are extremely high where I live. We're the 4th highest tax rate in all of the United States in the area that I live. It's very high. So the idea is that they're very selective on the garbage they take. You have to separate it 42 different ways. And you basically can't put out certain things. They want you to pay extra to put other things. It becomes such a rat race that they don't want anybody to figure it out. They want everybody to shut up and do what you're told. And it's a very discomforting ideal as to what us as people, as humans, as people, have the sovereign freedom to do, which at this point is almost nothing. So in other words, they'll put you in jail if you don't pay taxes. They throw you in jail if you don't want to have your kids schooled by this crazy education system they have now. They'll put you in jail. They take your children away from you. It's a vicious cycle until they have total control over everything. And then, electric cars, there'll be no more gas stations. Your cars will basically drive themselves. They'll lock the doors and drive you wherever they want you to drive you. They'll drive you you'll get up in the morning, you'll get into your electric car. It already knows who you are. It'll drive you to your job. It'll drop you off, and it won't allow you to move from that location until the end of the day. Do you realize this is where it's going? Does anybody see it? Or are we all just thinking it's not going to happen? And here's my favorite, because I say it too. Well, maybe not in my lifetime. I go, well, I'm sure that generations before me said the same thing, and now it's happening for real. It's happening, not in the movies anymore. But the movies do tell us a story. They let us know ahead of time what's going to happen, right? Soylent Green, Terminator. Everybody, it's crazy. We all thought about these as science fiction. Look, these things are not possible. It could never happen, and now it's happening. 100% of it is happening, right? Total control, right? George Orwell, 1984. We all see these things now. I think the issue with us is that when I was young and read and saw these things, it was very imaginary. It was almost to the point where you didn't notice it happening because you saw it beforehand, if that makes sense. So the movies and the television are subliminal messages. The idea that our brains become comfortable with certain things before they actually happen. It's real. It's the subliminal message. It's the brainwave that they manipulate, right? The subliminal message, right? So years ago, they had movies about video games, and they had movies about us having handheld televisions and having ways to communicate the way we do nowadays. But they had them in television shows, and they had them in movies back then. And we didn't ever think it was going to happen because we thought it was just a movie or a television show. But what they were doing at that time was acclimating us for the final countdown. They acclimate you for the final countdown. So they let you know ahead of time so your brain becomes adjusted to seeing it and hearing about it. So we heard long time ago about, these smartphones, that make us dumb. And we've seen the idea of all of these things that are happening now beforehand in movies and television shows. They set us up. They set us up ahead of time. They told us this is what's going to happen. There will be no money. You'll work on a credit system, which is what we will have eventually, which is coming up. And there will be an eye. George Orwell said it, right? There will be an eye, an ever-watching eye, constantly. And there is. So that's where we are. We're exactly where they told us we would be. Just the time, the numbers of the years may just be a little different, right? Terminator, they taught us about AI. They told us that these things were going to happen, that machines would be able to think for themselves, and that eventually they would try to eliminate the idea of human beings because we really are in our own. Here's what I think what the difference is that us as humans, we're always in our own heads, right? We're always thinking, rethinking, bringing up memories, doing all these things. And I think it hinders the fact of our evolutionary our evolutionary path. I don't think we're getting there as fast as they thought we were going to. So they're speeding it up now. So they're letting us know that AI could eventually and will eventually take over. I mean, cars that drive themselves, you can basically embed a chip in your brain now, and your brain can function as a computer to an existing computer or another brain or whatever it may be, and you can transmit the information through your own head instantaneously. They have a post on social media where there's a young man, and the reporter asks him a question that he doesn't know the answer to. He knows he doesn't know the answer to it, but he has this connection. There's a thing connected to his brain, and the person asks him a question, and without him repeating the question out loud or anything, his brain picks it up through the ear or whatever it may be, and it sends the signal to the mini generated computer in the brain that sends a signal somewhere that asks for that information and then brings it back instantaneously. And then the person, human, not a robot, a human, can regurgitate the information verbatim. So you think we are not seeing the final countdown? We are. We're seeing the final countdown. We're pretending we don't see it. And the reason we're pretending we don't see it is because we've seen it already. So we've seen it through movies and television already. They've been telling us these things and showing us these things that our brains have become adjusted to the point where we just accept it now. We don't question it anymore. And it's kind of like how I feel about certain things. Like I was talking about last podcast, was about all the bills, how much money they take or whatever. And so the idea is that they just keep putting things on the bill to charge you for. They don't tell you that they're there. They don't tell you the bill's going up. They don't tell you why it's going up. They don't tell you why they're charging you for everything that's on there. It's just on the bill, right? So it's on the bill. And then when you call them and question them, first of all, the people who make those rules and bills, never the ones that answer the phones, right? They have somebody who reads off a script, an employee, somebody they hire to just read from a piece of paper. So they say, well, it's on the bill. I said, just because it's on the bill doesn't mean I have to pay it. I didn't want that. So in other words, I didn't ask for 3 different insurances and didn't ask for all these other charges here. When you sold me something or told me something, you told me it was this. But then just because you put it on here, it's like a contract you sign, right? Like I said, nobody reads them, and they have it on there. And the thing is that you sign it, you agree, you make a consent to it. But the idea is, this is not, in other words, if you're not giving me this, in other words, you told me I was getting this, right? And just because it's like the bills and the laws they pass, just because the bill or the law says one thing, they put 40 other different things underneath it so that it becomes one. So nobody understands why and how it happened. So that's exactly what they're doing. So they're just letting us know it's there. Whether we do the research or the understanding or want to understand or take the time to understand it, it'll just be there until somebody stops it or somebody questions it. So that's why I said the thinking for yourself and the idea of the questioning of things have to happen on a constant basis. Otherwise, it becomes too easy for them. The government makes it too easy, right? Well, actually, the government doesn't make it easy. They make it hard. We make it easy. We make it easy because, here we go. We make it easy because we choose not to question at all.
Well, no shit.
That's the truth. We refuse to question it. We have to. We have to refuse to question it after a while. After a while, you have to stop.
What's your name, scumbag?
It has to go that way sometimes. It has to. We have to start just questioning. In other words, when you get your paychecks, when you get them, and you say to yourself, oh my goodness, look how much is missing. You have to call, or you have to stop, or you have to go to your employer and say, listen to me. I don't want you to take money out of my check for these taxes that they're saying I must pay. Stop taking them out. Give me my money. Give me the money that I provided my labor for to perform this task. Give me my money. If I'm getting X amount of dollars, I want X amount of dollars. So that then the government has to ask you for the money for what they want to spend it on. Same thing with the bills. When you get a phone bill, when you get an electric bill, when you get a gas bill, when you get all these bills, you should say it's 75 cents a kilowatt. I used X amount of kilowatts. That's what I'm paying you for. I'm not going to give you money for all these other things that you put on here. Just because you put them on here doesn't mean it's my responsibility to pay them. I'm paying for the service of the usage of what it is that I have. I have that. I have a gas line and it provides gas into my stove or to heat my hot water. And I pay for a kilowatt usage. And if it says I use 100 kilowatts at 75 cents, I will pay you whatever it is. And do not pay for any of the other stuff. They didn't put the gas pipes in your house. You paid for that. That's it. They turned it on one end. And that's what they did. Same thing with the electricity. Yes, there is maintenance on these things and they need to be provided. But it has to be somewhere where us as the people, we decide. We decide. They can't decide everything. Because then everything just always goes in their favor. It will never change. Listen to me. Here's the reason why we can't find equality. Can't find equality because they let us know right off the bat that it's never equal. They let us know. The governments let us know. They let us know it's not going to be equal. So you're aware of it. I'm aware of it. You're aware of it. They're letting us know. Say, listen to me, times are hard, things are bad right now, we're shoveling money off to another country. Look, and things ain't good here. So I tell you what, make it 20 cents a kilowatt of usage for people here. That's the end of it. Things are hard, things are getting hard here because you're giving away all our money. And if you need all that money, then you need to consult with us first, we the people. We should be deciding. We, the people that pay the salaries of the government. We, the people who pay for everything that they give the money away for. That's the way it is. As I said, that nothing stops until it all stops. The final countdown. Nothing stops until it all stops. That's the truth. That's the way it works. 100 people tomorrow decide, I ain't getting up and going to work. I'm not giving them no more money. I'm not going shopping in the stores. I'll make do with what I have for now. 100 people, 200 people, 2,000, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million. And then all of a sudden, somebody has to be spoken to. Things have to be adjusted. Things have to be changed. That's the only way. I know people get upset when people talk about riots and the way groups handle things. And yes, it is. It's a riot. It's a rally. It's a riot. It's an uprise. It's all those things rolled into one. Groups of people having unjustified things done to them. But it's happening to all of us. All of us, globally now. Not just countrywide, not city, town. None of these things that they all have us believing are separate. They're all the same. They're all the same if you look around the world and you look at news and events and things that are happening. That's why you don't see it on the news, and the mainstream media doesn't play things happening in other countries anymore. It's just like the other countries. The other countries are doing the same thing. They're not showing their country things really that are going on around the world because they don't want their people to see that everybody else is just as upset as they are. You know, that's how it works.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
It could be everything and it could be nothing. But most likely, it is something. It is something. Listen to me, it's like a merry-go-round. Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Nobody knows. But the one thing you can determine is where you get off. You know,
Oh, hello! Oh, hell no!
Yes. Excuse me. But yes, you can determine what stop you will get off. Not the other get off. All right? Now you get off. But that's the truth. We all have to make a conscious, I think we all need to make a conscious conclusion as to when it is we won't choose to participate in the things that happen. There will be no participation trophies for this. I'm just letting you know out there, you're not going to get a participation trophy. You're only going to get one if you are part of the team. That's it. You right?
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
You better start. You better start because it's not going to get easier, but it can get better. That's for sure. Do you understand? All right? Do you really understand? Do you really understand? That's my joke. That's my joke, folks. Ah, jeez. Listen, and how I feel about this, all the leaders of countries, all the leaders, and I'm talking about the people that are leading. There's really nobody leading anymore. It's just people telling people what to do. But all the leaders of countries should be the ones in the ring. That's it. they have a problem with somebody? How could any leader from any other country not like me personally? I don't know them. I don't think too many of us, I don't want to say regular folks, because none of us are regular. We're actually all irregular. The idea is, how could any leader from any country hold any one person of another country responsible for not liking the entire country? I don't know if that makes sense to you. And not just not liking the country, but the idea is that they would like to see the people in that country like not do well or be in dire straits, or, you know, like what's his name did all those years ago, you know what I mean? Like why we had that war is that you can't just decide that you don't like one, you know, like, oh, I don't like that person, so I don't like nobody like that. Like they say, one bad apple doesn't spoil a whole bunch. Well, actually, in the apple situation, it does, right? If you get the rotten apple in it, it'll ruin the whole bunch of them. But the idea is that you can't just take it upon yourself as a leader. You're supposed to be leading. So what are you doing? Leading everybody into war? Leading everybody into a disagreement or an argument with somebody else? Because what? I wouldn't explain to me. I wouldn't even be able to grasp the concept. You couldn't explain to me, right, how if the president of this country has got a problem with the ruler over there in the other country, Russia, China, Ukraine, wherever the hell it is, pick any other country you want, right? You can't explain to me how these two people who don't even know each other, don't like each other, or worse, one of them wants to take over the country where the other one is. And my thing is, if you didn't like the main guy, what makes you think you're going to like the rest of us? We're probably not much far off from whatever the hell he's thinking. You know what I mean? So if you're going to talk about it, or you're going to get into detail about it, how could you even understand that fact? It doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me. So in this country that we have here, we have a lot of people. It's millions of us. There's billions, right? There's a lot of us. There's a lot of people here. So you mean to tell me, just that one guy over there on the other side that don't like maybe one guy on our side, then everybody don't like nobody from either side? I don't understand this. And then we're willing to take up arms and go somewhere else and kill other people in their land. I don't know. What is this? What is this way of thinking? Where does it come from? I don't understand. It's a very strange concept. My personal opinion is everybody just needs to pull up their own panties and mind their own business. Period. If they made the lines, right? If they made lines for places and everybody's got a little, you know, whether it's visible or invisible, that's the truth. Whether it's visible or invisible. If you don't like the people on that side, don't go over there. You could solve every war that way. You would never have to worry about it. You're like, yo, listen, well, I don't like those people over there. So I tell you what, you know what's funny? Because they created these borders and these lines for countries and states and all this stuff. If you don't like the people on that side or in the front of you or on the back of you, whatever, just don't go there. You know, you don't have to. You can not like them all you want. It's the freedom that we have as sovereign humans. You know, the best is you don't have to go there. You really don't. You can go anywhere else you want. This planet's pretty big, so you could find another spot to go, I'm sure. So if you're really that, you know, bent out of shape about somebody else because of where they live or a language they speak or a color they are or a culture they have or whatever the case may be, keep it to yourself and march on. Carry on, my friend. Carry on. Nobody's forcing you to do anything. Really, that's the long and short of it. You have to make that conscious choice, right? So I think if, the Biden guy over there and the Putin guy over there, they got a problem with people, and you want to throw in a couple other countries, they have a steel cage match, right? Winner take all. We'll see how that works out. Do you understand what I mean? It's kind of it's a weird concept. We have sports in every country, and every country does the same thing. So the idea is that if you set up a match, UFC, boxing, judo, whatever you want to do, kumbaya, whatever it may be, I don't care, soccer, football, whatever it is you want to do. It's this versus this. There's a winner. That's the end. But do we not understand this? We base all our sports on war, a form of war. One team versus the other. So, do we not understand the concept? We've been promoting it since we can recognize history. 2 man enter, 1 man leave. That's really that's a stroke of genius. So if that's not the case, right? So if that's not the case, then move along, get along. You kind of have to have that sense of feeling. The brain capacity of a human being is very large. It is like a computer. So the idea is, if you can't figure that out before the final countdown, you can't figure that out, then that's the problem. Isn't everybody else? The problem is you, right? If you haven't figured that out, if you haven't figured out that if you don't like something or like someone or whatever the case may be, you have every opportunity not to ever deal with them, talk to them, say anything to them. It's all your choice. You can choose. Right there. Don't go on that side. It's simple. It's really good arithmetic, It's arithmetic. It's the 3 R's in school. It's reading, writing, arithmetic. That's all you need. You don't need anything else to really figure out a conscious decision as to everybody should just really just mind their business and leave everybody else alone. That adage, have you got nothing nice to say? Yeah, true. You don't have nothing nice to say, or the things that you're going to say, and I'm guilty of it a lot too. If you know the things you're going to say don't work around a certain group of people, you got 2 choices. You either don't say it in front of them or don't go around them. And then you never have to worry about it. It's funny how that works. If we all stopped for 15, 20 minutes and thought about it that way, if we all stopped and said to ourselves, I'm not really comfortable in that situation, then you don't put yourself in that situation. You find another situation to be put in. I think as long as it doesn't, hurt nobody else, I mean, what the hey, right? What the hey? Can't we all just get along? Really? Is it really all that difficult? Are we all really just waiting for the final countdown? Are we all just waiting for the total annihilation or the total destruction? I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't happen. Well, I know for sure I'm not saying that. I know for sure I'm saying it could happen. Total annihilation could happen. But if you really think about it, nobody wants that. Nobody. Not a single person that walks on this planet right now wants total annihilation. That's not possible. Not one person. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. No, nobody wants total annihilation for everything. Like, in other words, do you realize that if the way it's situated now is that there's a handful, like you could put them in your hand, whatever size your hand is right now. There's only a handful of people here in this entire planet that have the capability of total annihilation and total destruction of the planet for almost all living things. You have to take a second there. I think it's captivating. It's very captivating to understand that there's a handful of people, very few. You could count them. You know, you'd make 20. The number would be 20, 30, or whatever it is. That they have the capability of, total destruction. And that's a very conscious thought. It has to be a conscious thought. Because if it isn't, it would have happened already. That has to be the truth. So in other words, because it's so few people that have that capability to do that, and it's in my lifetime so far. I mean, they had that new movie out. What's his name? From Peaky Blinders. About the atomic bomb. But the idea is that they knew when they did that it would only be for the square mileage of the devastation was controlled to a certain extent. But now the idea of the weapons that these countries and these people possess makes that seem like it was the 4th of July, a couple of firecrackers going off. Because what would happen now is, it would only be a short period of time if that ever happened. The total destruction would happen over a certain period of time, because then the idea of the human race ever being the human race from that point on would be done. Everything would be changed. That the molecular structure of our offspring would be totally different. I don't mean to laugh about it, but I mean, I have to, in a sense, to think that whatever our bodies would consume, if we would reproduce, would get passed on to, the next generations. They wouldn't come out normal. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I don't think that's possible. And then because of the radiation and the oh my goodness, it would alter, living things, insects, plants, everything, the earth, the ground. Oh my goodness, everything would change. So I think the idea of total devastation from these so-called leaders that we have, it would never happen. It would never happen. They would. I don't think so. And that's my answer, and I'm sticking to that. Here's my personal opinion. They're all punk bitches. They're all bitch asses. Like, all of them is talking they're all talking trash. They're all just trash talking about everybody. It's like they're like a bunch of caquerons, They're like the wash women. They're like, like the two heckling guys up in the opera over there. They're just talking, right? Because they would have to be done in secrecy. I think anybody with a half a brain and two cents of smarts wouldn't let anybody do that. That's what I think. But what do I know? Just a guy from Brooklyn. That's the truth. I'm just a guy from Brooklyn voicing my own opinions. And that's it. That's really how I feel. That's probably how you guys feel. But I don't care. Well, folks, I think that's my time. I want to say thanks for hanging out with me and listening, but it's got to be said, and I'm the one to say it for now. And you know how it goes. Every day is a good day, and if you give a smile, you're going to get a smile. Give a bunch of them smiles out there, folks. We need them, especially now, more than ever. I'm out. Peace.